Shawn, if there's one thing I love more than anything in the whole world, it's a comic convention.
Oh, Richard, cons are the greatest collection of like-minded people. You get cosplay, comics, panels, and it's just all the things we love. Could you imagine if we, Richard, the language of bromance, could take part in a convention?
Shawn, you don't have to dream. You know why? Because we, the language of bromance, will be at the Big River Comic Convention in Hannibal, Missouri on April 17th and 18th and 19th.
Oh, it's the BRCC. It's the second annual con on the Big River. What are we going to be doing at the 2020 Big River Comic Con in Hannibal, Missouri on April 17th, 18th, and 19th?
Well, not only will we have our own table where people can walk up and say, hi, how you doing? Which we encourage everyone to do. We'll also be hosting and moderating all panels that are there at the con. We'll have guest Mark Dodson, who, Shawn, the voices in Gremlins, for God's sake. One of my favorite Christmas movies.
The best Christmas movie.
It gets even better. For Return of the Jedi fans, we have the voice of Salacious Crumb. Yeah. Also, Carrie Means, who was the voice of Frylock.
Curse.
Harkening back some Aquatine. And none other than one of the comic book men himself, Ming Chen.
Oh, we love Ming Chen. Checking this out, this looks like there will be tons of other guests and vendors. Plus, Richard, you know what? I think on this special occasion, we should do a little giveaway and record an episode at our table.
That is a great and completely spontaneous thought that you just had right then. So come to the con. It's in Hannibal, Missouri. And how much and when is this con again? Just so I know that you know that I know that you know.
So the 2020 Big River Con takes place on April 17th, 18th, and 19th in Hannibal, Missouri. And you can get your tickets at brcchannibal.com, which you won't believe these prices, Richard. Friday, you can get in for $10. Saturday, you can get in for $20. Sunday, you can get in for $15. Or if you want the whole weekend pass to come hang out with us for 3 days, only $30 and get you in for every single day.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So you've got panel guests, you've got vendors, you've got people to talk to, you've got an entire arcade downstairs where you can sit and play. I don't even know what's in the arcade. All I know is it's probably covered in awesome sauce.
I know I'll be there, and I cannot wait for the Big River Comic Con.
So we'll see you there. The panels are on Saturday, April 18th, and the rest of the weekend is going to be filled with nothing but amazing stuff. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. Oh, yeah.
The smooth baritone sounds.
Can't get enough of your love, baby.
Can't get enough of your love, baby. Mm-hmm. Is that where we're at now? We're going to start doing remixes. Yeah. I wish my voice could get that low.
Yeah, baby.
Do you think that's like
This isn't I just auto-tune.
Walk into a bar, could I buy you a drink? Is that hello? That's about as long. And you got to talk quiet. Like you got to be like you talk loud, but still have that deep voice.
Excuse me, miss.
Like James Earl Jones.
Oh my God. That'd make my panties go wet.
Mm-hmm. Well, Richard, I found this story that I find kind of interesting.
Oh, well, then I guess it's something we're going to talk about on the show because
have you ever had anything stolen or like been pickpocketed or like robbed?
I have had, Shawn. I used to have an amazing collection of CDs, an amazing collection. And when I say amazing, I mean I had a book I had one book with over 250 in there, and then I had another book that had another like 200 in there. Now I want to bear in mind, Shawn, that this is back in the day. This is back in like the late 90s when CDs were like $20 a pop.
They were expensive. Now explain the books too, because like today's kids, it's like, well, what do you mean books? Like you have Spotify.
You see that with like games, like, you know, kids walk around with like a case that has like a bunch of sleeves in there so they can slip like games in there. So if they want to go to a friend's house and play a game, then they
still do that today? I thought everything was downloaded and online.
Well, a lot of it is, but like, okay, like like your Switch, for example, like some kids that have a Switch, like they have all the, they have a case. And you open up the case and the Switch is in there, but then they also have little pockets that they stick the little game cartridges in.
I got you. So those are still cartridges then?
For the Switch, yeah, they still use cartridges.
Yeah, because I know like that was a rite of passage. Like when I was a 7th or 8th grader, like all the kids had that CD book.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I was like, well, what kind of CDs do you have? You're like, well, let me whip this out. Pop it out.
So like, I had this book. So
you want a little Eve 6? Little Britney Spears. What about Jennifer Lopez?
So I had there were two books.
20?
There were two books. There was one that was like my A collection, and then there was one that was like my B collection. The A collection went in the car. Shawn, I had that whole book stolen out of my car. Ironically, I was on a date with my now wife, and we went to go see a movie. And as we were watching the movie, there was a trailer for a movie called Gone in 60 Seconds. And during that trailer, I had the actual thought, did I lock my car? And I said, yes, I locked the car. Shawn, I did not lock the car. And the CDs were gone. They were
Richard,
gonzo.
I don't want to cause any conspiracy theories because I know your wife and I like your wife, but do you think that was an inside job?
No, because some of her CDs were in there with mine.
I bet if you walked in, like she's like got an old school CD player right now. You're like,
so what I'm saying is that like Nicolas Cage stole my CDs. That's what I'm saying.
Worth it for the story.
I just think I just love Ozzy Osbourne so much. Ha 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 ha.
Like if you walked out there and like Nicolas Cage had your books and he's like, nobody will believe you. Like, yeah, you're right.
True.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell this story.
But that's not how he'd say it. He'd be like, nobody will believe you. Because that man fucking...
he overacts.
He fucking swings for the fences.
I only had... I was always concerned about that too. So I always tucked my CDs under the seat so they weren't visible.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did you have like subs in your car? Like sub speakers?
No. However, I did have a friend that also had like a massive CD collection, and he had big subs in his car. That's good stuff. Those. And you know what? You know what? Anybody that had that kind of system in their car, you know what CD they had? They had the Chronic by Dr. Dre.
Oh,
because didn't matter what kind of music you listened to. Didn't matter if you had subs in your car. It didn't matter if you were into death metal or fucking twangy ass Conway fucking Twitty. You had a copy of the Chronic because that was the only thing that was going to make those subs fucking sing.
Yeah, subs sounded amazing inside the vehicle. If you're outside of it, it was just your trunk rattling. Is that a thing anymore? Do kids actually have subs?
I don't think so. Do kids drive anymore? Do kids go places?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They probably, it's probably a good point. They probably like, what, spend $600 on something I'm going to have in my car? No, I'm going to spend $400 on some badass headphones.
Yeah. Or they just, yeah, they just use, I don't see it. It's nowhere near as much of a thing as it was when I was a kid. Like that was like the fucking thing.
Subs or driving?
Subs, getting a good sound system for your car. Like that was the thing. I helped a couple friends like put sound systems in their car. Like you'd make it like an all day project and sit there and trace wires and all that shit.
Well, I had two different sets. I bought like one of the first things I bought with my money was some for my first car. And then I got an upgraded version like a year or two later.
Mm-hmm.
They got stolen. Actually, they
Sad.
did, but there was a guy who's like, "Hey, if you ever want to get insurance money, let me know, and I can have somebody take your subs." Like, why would I want somebody to take my subs?
Why don't I just keep them?
Yeah,
And then not have to deal with the hassle of because if you give me the money, I'm just gonna go buy new subs.
yeah. What's the insurance company got to do with this? Oh, I see. But Richard, this story I found is about a lady back in the day.
Oh, okay? Wait. So what's the day? What? Okay, wait a minute. Odd tangent, but what time period do you think of when you hear the phrase "back in the day"? Like if I say, back in the day.
To me, if you say back in the day, like to me, that's a time that we didn't live in.
Yeah.
Like right now, I would say like pre 1940.
Okay. So to me, it all depends on tone. Like if I say to you, back in the day, to me, that implies maybe it's just because I'm older, but that implies like when I was a kid. I feel that to be synonymous. If I say, back in the day,
I think I put more emphasis on like, so if I'm talking about when I was a kid, it's like, well, when I was a kid, or if it's
back in the day, I didn't have internet.
Yeah, see, I don't know I might do that. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to what we talked about on the CD books.
But
back in the day, we had
sometimes
CD books.
if somebody says to me back in the day, I immediately think like the 50s. Like you said, like 40s, 50s.
This story specifically takes place in like the late 1890s, late 1800s.
Okay.
So this is way, way back when. This would have been, I don't know when my family came across the great big pond of ocean, but I think they were here by then. I don't know for sure, though. I think it might have been around this time.
All right.
So this is from the Smithsonian Magazine, and this is about one Fredericka Mandelbaum, or
Mandelbaum. Sorry, it's a Seinfeld joke.
Old Mother Mandelbaum. So the death of Fredericka Mandelbaum, better known as Old Mother Marm and the Queen of Fences.
Oh, wait a minute. Her name's Old Mother Marm.
Yeah,
I like that. That sounds
Old
fucking
Mother,
boss.
but then she goes.
She sounds like somebody you'd run into at in a video game. She sounds like at the end of be like, oh, Old Mother Marm.
Well, she sounds like the person that have like people fighting in front of her. And
yeah, you're playing like Streets of Rage and like you're running through back alleys and shit, and then you find Old Mother Marm.
And she drinks the poison. She wants to let Cersei know it was me. So this made international headlines in February of 1894. So again, this is a SmithsonianMagazine.com. But was it Marm's body in the coffin en route to New York City from Canada, or a heap of stones?
Oh, shit.
So this lady was known to kind of, some shadiness.
Apparently.
It wouldn't have been the first time this black-eyed, 250-pound, synagogue-going mother of four decided to become someone else. She's a big lady. Like, it's like 1800s.
But like, I don't know. She just sounds fucking like tough as fucking nails. She sounds like fucking like Nurse Ratched and shit.
You talk about it like, and I've kind of poked through the story a little bit. It's a longer story, but this was a tough time to live because mostly like everybody that came over was immigrants.
Yeah.
So you had to deal with that.
Indoor plumbing was like kind of so.
Yeah.
So where do you poop? That's my first concern.
Where to poop?
Yeah. Isn't that isn't that your first concern when it comes to time travel? Like you time travel back to like the 1300s, and my first thought is like, well, where do I poop?
That's a good question. Like if you showed up and like you're like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, like just go over by that tree. You're like, no, I gotta go number 2.
I gotta
like,
be private.
What's the number 2? I gotta poop. They're like, by the tree. Like, well, no, somebody might understand.
It's me time.
Like, why don't you want somebody to see you? Is there something? Oh my God, he's a witch.
Yeah. And then I get murdered just because I wanted some privacy and some paper from my bum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point too. Like, what do I wipe with? They're like, what do you mean?
There's leaves next to the tree.
Or your hand.
Oh,
I think that's what they used to use, Richard.
Yeah, that's what they used to use. Although I will. Okay.
This episode's all about how the past was bad.
Odd tangent aside. All right. What's your opinion on the bidet?
I mean, I like it in like theory and concept, but I don't know if in practice I'd like it.
Why?
Because...
In my head, I feel like it's better, and here's why. Because number one, like I got this little thing that's shooting water at my bum and making it and cleaning everything off, so that's good. And number two, like in that instance, yes, like you wouldn't have to use paper. You could like use your hands because there's water and everything's getting clean. And then when you're done, then you wash your hands like you're supposed to.
I still think you'd probably want to because to me it's like sometimes you'll take a number 2 and you do the little wipey and you're like I still feel dirty underneath. So then you got to take a shower. That's kind of like what a bidet would do.
What do you eat? What the fuck? Wait a minute. Does that happen to you? That's never happened to me where I instantly am like, I need to shower.
You've never had like the eraser, like a permanent marker type of wiping where every time you wipe, there's still a bunch there?
No, I just keep going.
Yeah, go through a whole roll of toilet paper.
Shawn, you don't understand. Like I'm like, I don't know, like pun intended, but I am very anal retentive when it comes to that. Like,
yeah. You know the worst thing is when
I wipe
wiping.
to the point that that I probably should stop.
You know the worst thing too is like when you go to wipe and then the toilet paper breaks.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah. You're like, well, that happened.
Yeah. Now that nobody's listening anymore, let's talk about wherever the fuck we want.
Well, the problem is you go in and then you wash your hands, and even though they're probably clean, they still feel dirty. Like you do the little, like, does that still smell like poop?
Yeah, so you wash them again.
Yeah, and you do
wash them until that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, but then you're like, did I just get it in my nostrils, or is there something wrong? As you smell your hands. Wait, did I get them? It does still smell like poop.
No, I think I'm all right.
Cool. Well, I mean, since we're talking about butt stuff, this is kind of funny. So I do the pull my finger game with my son. No, you're not. You gotta watch it. You do the pull my finger with my son. You know, like you pull your finger and you fart.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for a long time, and he finds it hilarious, which it is.
Right.
So the other day I had him do it, and I cut, went, and he's like, ha, ha, ha. He's like, Dad, pull my finger. I'm like, all right, like let's see where this goes. And I pull his finger, and he goes, burp. And Tiffany like looks back, and she's like, was that his butt? I'm like, yes, it was. That's my son.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
that makes me feel good.
Son, Jacoby, when you listen to this 40 years from now, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. For just that.
Yeah, just that. Yeah.
Everything that you do from this point forward is just extra.
All right, back to Marm.
Yeah.
So
Old Mother Marm.
She was born Frederick Henrietta Auguste Weisner in 1827 in Hanover, Prussia. She married one Wolf Israel Mandelbaum, who immigrated to New York City, and she joined him there at the age of 23. So already at this point, she's lived a long, fulfilling life.
Sounds like, yeah.
23 years of age.
She's probably like such a hard ass.
God, yeah. I mean, think about it.
I bet she talked earlier. I bet she talked like this.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee she had that 40-year-old.
Fuck you, I'm Old Mother Marm.
6 packs of cigarettes a day.
Don't you fuck with Old Mother Marm.
Oh, man.
Old Mother Marm gonna fucking punch
you think
in
about
the face.
It. How long did it take for them to come from, the mother country to America across the ocean?
I bet she had furniture strapped to her back that she brought with her from fucking Prussia.
The picture it kind of looks like that's what she would do.
She probably had a curio cabinet fucking hoisted onto her back with rope.
And that's the kind of china too that when it fell, it didn't break or chip because it was freaking 7 inches of glass.
Yeah, it was made out of lead.
Yeah, you eat on it, my stomach hurts and my poop has blood in it. But
yeah, and then Old Mother Marm's like, that's how it's supposed to go.
If it's not red, you're dead.
That's what they taught me in old Prussia.
So they settled in a section of Lower East Side known as Klungstadtland, or Little Germany, where 15 people, so this is the other thing, Richard, 15 people squeezed into an apartment that measured just over 325 square feet.
I am horrible with the square foot visualization. So 300, you said 325 square feet. So Okay, so you're looking behind me. The room that I'm in right now, how big is that?
That's probably about that. I was going to say, like, if you took out the wall that we have a game day for, so it's just pretty much the table, maybe I guess just the basement itself, that's probably about 350, 400 square foot.
Okay.
That might be a little
like
big.
2/3 of that basement.
Yeah. Or even like give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it is the basement up to the point of where the bar is.
Well, that's not too bad.
15 people, though. And you're talking kitchens, probably a bathroom somewhere.
No, Sean, it's the 1890s. Don't they just have a hole dug in the ground?
Probably.
Where they make their twosies? Man,
you just hang your butt out the window and just hope somebody else isn't going above you.
Oh my God. Does that not sound like the most like, okay, I guess I don't think about like the Middle Ages because obviously they didn't have any of that stuff. But for some reason in my head, the Middle Ages seem way, way cleaner than like the, pre/industrial era. Like to me, like I think if I think 1890 London, like images conjure in my brain of just like the whole, like there's just like literal shit like in the streets and on the sidewalks, and like the whole place smells like a fucking truck stop.
Yeah.
And everything's just dirty and grimy.
I think if I could time travel, I'd want to do like Sam in Quantum Leap, where I'm kind of a ghost just walking around. I don't really want to live it.
No.
Because one, you have to be there. Two, you run the risk of being stuck there. And three, you run the risk of being considered a witch.
Yeah, that too. Well, not in 1890. They stopped burning people in like the 1600s.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there was some reason they would hate on somebody from the outside. No matter what.
Definitely. But it's 1890 Britain. Like worst case scenario, they they flap their fans at themselves like faster.
I show up and I'm like, pearls. "Hello, governor!" They're like, kill him. Off with his head.
And Jack the Ripper was born.
But yeah, 325 square feet, 15 people, bathrooms, like sleeping. You're basically sleeping like foot to foot. Back in this time too, like children were warned not to enter Orchard Street because of the lairs of the gypsy women with their billowing skirts and their gold flashing from ankle to teeth.
Because they're witches.
I don't know, like...
I mean, we stopped burning them, but that wasn't our choice.
Was gypsies is like an actual kind of like...
Like Romania.
Romania, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't practice anything super weird, did they? Was that just... Because gypsies has a connotation, and the only thing I know about gypsies is all I learned from Angel, the TV series.
So a bunch of people with Eurotrash accents that run around, that
curse vampires.
Go around, that curse vampires. That's their life.
Hey.
Sean, that is exactly how they lived.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's not bad. It's not racist because...
Vampires.
What's his face taught me that. The guy who created that. What's his name? Why does it slip in my mind?
Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon. I want to say Will Wheaton. But Joss Whedon. Is Will Wheaton and Joss Whedon? No, it's spelled different.
No.
Wheaton.
Yeah. There you go.
On.
That was weird. I just watched you like figure all that out in real time.
So Marm and Wolf scratched out a living as peddlers, hawking everything from rags to broken timepieces to scraps of silk.
Who's going to buy that shit?
That's what's... So I guess at this point in time, in 1857, they have what they call the Panic of 1857. So businesses failed, banks closed, tens of thousands of people have lost their jobs. And apparently...
So it's like Mary Poppins. Like that bit in Mary Poppins where there's a run on the bank.
Oh, is
and
that
I
really
never
what
knew.
that
The
is?
only reason I knew what that meant was because I watched Mary Poppins.
Was Mary Poppins during the Depression or was it during this?
Mary Poppins was in England.
Oh. Cheerio. I don't know.
Don't you remember Dick Van Dyke had that horrible fucking accent?
No.
That was like borderline racist against English people, but nobody cared because they were white?
Maybe. Well, aren't English people white?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was borderline racist, but whatever. It's white people.
Oh, okay. White people with white people.
Yeah.
No, I remember trying to watch that show and I didn't like it.
Like Dick Van Dyke's fucking speaking around in that English accent. It's like the equivalent of it's like blackface for fucking British people.
But so I shouldn't be doing my hello governor? Is that what you're saying?
No, Shawn, you keep doing it.
Okay.
And you just watch our popularity soar in the UK.
Oh, it's going up for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But so yeah, during this time they were selling stuff, but then they were kind of getting like pickpocketing and looting was huge.
It still is.
Is it?
I've seen videos of especially in Europe. I've seen videos of like pickpockets in Europe, and they're fucking fast.
What are they stealing?
The wallets, billfolds.
I feel like that would go down because like back then, whatever you could steal from somebody, like you could go on the side of the street and sell. Like what they did here. Like they're selling like old pieces of silk, slithers of coal.
Yeah.
They were talking about some person they were taking care of, and her name's Sophia Lyons, Lyons.
Okay.
And she said she was not quite 6 years old when she stole her first pocketbook. She took it to Marm, and Marm explained that this was one of her most successful proteges. And the girl said, "I was very happy because I was petted and rewarded. My wretched stepmother patted my curly head, gave me a bag of candy, and said I was a good girl."
Where'd she get the candy?
Well, Marm was basically creating this underground ring of children stealing shit.
That sounds awesome. She probably had one kid steal the candy for her,
Probably.
and then she took that candy to give out to the other kids for stealing shit.
But
So she's like, "Here, a piece of candy."
But like back then, like everybody had cash. So you pickpocket a wallet, it's probably got cash in it.
That's
or
true.
something of value.
Yeah.
Even the wallet itself would have value because it would be probably some kind of like pure leather.
Yeah.
Today, if somebody pickpockets me, they get my phone. It's an iPhone. iPhones have all these kind of securities around it that you have to basically figure out a way to get it jailbroke to sell it. So it's kind of worthless.
Yeah.
If I
more than likely they would ditch the phone, or they would take the phone to go get recycled and get pennies on the dollar for it.
Maybe, yeah, but that still doesn't seem like it's worth it because I can if my iPhone gets stolen and I realize it, I contact Apple or go through my Apple account and be like, "Hey, my phone's stolen." They shut it down. They wipe it remotely. My credit cards get stolen. I contact my credit card companies, be like, "Hey, card stolen." The thing that would suck the most is my driver's license.
Yeah,
because that'll be
especially if you're traveling abroad. Think about that.
Yeah, well, a passport gets stolen. That'd be a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying okay. So think about this: like you're in London, and you've lost your identification. You've lost any way to pay anybody anything.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to go to the brain fart, the United States,
the embassy.
Thank you. But I mean, they steal my wallet though, and my phone and everything. They're not really. I don't feel like there's much value here.
I get. It depends on how much they can get out of it before you shut everything off.
That's true. I guess if it was abroad, it'd probably be more difficult because at that point, I have no communication at all.
Yeah,
because I have no numbers.
Yeah, and like all they need is once they have your cards and everything, just a few hours they could go and fucking rack up however much in spending. Now, granted, like that stuff would get like wiped out because you're like, "Hey, my shit got stolen."
Yeah, I guess if
I didn't order 4,000 condoms.
Yeah,
again,
although I wish I did. But I mean, back then I feel like there's at least less traceable stuff too. Like, you steal my wallet. There's some work you have to do, and you might get away with it for a little bit, but it's going to get stopped, sooner or later. Then you steal, a wallet, you sell it, you've got the money for it, or you've gotten whatever you need. So I figured, I guess I thought like pickpocketing is becoming less and less.
It's not
financially.
You don't really see it as much in the U.S. as you do in, I wouldn't say all of Europe, but definitely like major cities in Europe, you see it a lot more.
Yeah, I just think like car break-ins too. Like you talk about like back in the day, people would break in, they could steal CDs, take them to a pawn shop, get $5 a piece. or even $1 a piece. I mean, it's still $200.
Yeah, for the 30 seconds of work you put in.
Yeah, today if you take a bunch of CDs in, they're like, you can pay us $20 and we'll take them.
Store credit.
Oh yeah,
they'd fucking GameStop you. That's what would happen.
Although,
Be like, I got a book of 400 CDs, and they're like $5 store credit.
Although I took some comics in to sell, and I actually did pretty well. I was surprised.
Well, I'm surprised too, because I feel like the comics don't have the value they once pulled in.
Yeah, I got some good deals on my. I had Batman: The Dark Knight, Volume 1 and 2 for the New 52, and the Batman New 52 run. I got a decent chunk of change from that, and my Hawkeyes got me a pretty decent chunk of change.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Marm began cultivating relationships with children. A female named Fagin to teammate Artful Dodgers, buying their wares and reselling them for profit. Let's see. So she spoke good English and German. So I'm guessing, at this time around then, there's probably a lot of German immigrants. So probably speaking both really helped.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I mean, this time too, it's like you come over, you only speak German. It's probably really difficult to get a job and stuff like that. So, this lady sees like, hey, guess what, kid?
Yeah, you're five, and all the factory jobs are taken.
Yeah, it's like, I'll give you 3 pieces of candy if you go steal shit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. How do you think you'd do as a street urchin?
I don't think I'd do very well. Because we talked about that. I don't like to steal anyway.
That's true. Well, yeah, but like this is your literal bread and butter, Shawn.
Well,
this is how you're gonna live.
That's a good point.
Riff raff, street rat. Shawn's like, I don't buy that.
Well, I mean, at this point in time too, it's like, this is all I have. So it's either this or starve. I'm one of those people. Some people are very anti this, I think. Not anti, but they don't believe it. But I'm like a proponent that you will do a lot if you are starving and your family's starving.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can steal this stuff from this person that they probably need it too, but I need it more. Or even I may not even need it more. I just need it. Yeah, I'm going to take it so my family can eat.
Yeah.
Oof. Like the Depression, I'm surprised it wasn't scarier than what it was.
Yeah.
Which actually it probably was. We just probably don't hear much about it.
No, yeah, the really bad stories. I feel like those are like saved from our ears.
And I think we were 3 or 4 years away from a draft too that probably took a lot of people away. So, the Depression started in 28,
29. Crash was in 29,
and then when was Pearl Harbor?
42.
I guess it was a little stretch.
Or 41, December 7th, 1941.
Yeah, so it was like 12 years before we got into the war. So I guess there was quite a bit of time there, more than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today I learned Shawn is horrible at history.
Well, it's always like the 30s is the stretch of years that I feel like the.
But Shawn, that's back in the day.
It is back in the day. Let's see. So there was a police chief named George Washington, not the George Washington we know.
Whoa.
He called her a thorough businesswoman.
I bet George Washington would make a kick-ass street urchin. Oh. He'd accidentally knock out his wooden teeth and he'd be like, oh, sorry. And when they're helping him pick him up, then he's like, steal, swoop, swoop.
I don't know if it's a Reddit subreddit, but you go to some of those and they have people that have taken pictures right as people are pickpocketing them.
Oh, wow.
Those are cool. Yeah.
I bet.
Well, cool in the sense I don't want it to happen to me, but
do you feel like that's a skill you would want to learn just to have?
You know what? It's kind of like a magician type thing, like the sleight of hand.
Yeah, it's all sleight. Yeah,
skill to have.
Yeah,
because you could
would you want that skill?
I'd take it because you could be on a date and you'd be like, boop boop. Hey, guess what? I just stole your heart. And oh God,
you want it, but so what you're saying is you want it, but you don't want to work for it.
Well, I mean, I'd practice it, but I wouldn't use it in out in public stealing stuff.
Like if right now I was like, Shawn, I'm going to teach you a sleight of hand trick so you can steal things. Would you if I taught it to you, then would you then go and practice it by yourself so you could get really good at it?
I think so. And I would probably use that as a party trick.
All right.
To be at a house party, not in public, because if you do it in public, that's a good way to get punched in the face.
Shawn, I'm gonna be your mama. I'm gonna be your mama bone right now.
Be my mama Marm. Do you know any sleight of hand tricks?
No.
You're like, watch this. There go my teeth. Holy shit.
Hang on. Up. Oh, where's the quarter? Where's the quarter?
Let's see. So, it's kind of funny with this too, because like you think about this time, women would have been like considered second-class citizens.
Yes.
But in the relationship between her and her husband Wolf, Chief George Washington, said he was the silent husband.
Oh, I bet.
So,
yeah, because fucking Mama Marm's carrying a curio cabinet from Prussia, and she's probably like the hardest woman you know.
Yeah.
Like if she walked in here right now, like she wouldn't have to say anything, and I'd probably be scared shitless.
Yeah, you'd be like, anything you want, it's yours.
Yeah.
She's like, what about your innocence?
Yeah,
I thought I had some left.
She just walk into this house and be the alpha male. Like
Yeah.
even my dog would be like, all right, I guess you're in charge now, and then bite me.
So I guess he died in 1875. I'm guessing she killed him from rough sex.
Like you do.
He left Marm with 4 children ranging from 8 to 15. And she expanded her circle of contacts, networking at her synagogue and the neighborhood beer and oyster hall. Richard,
Nice.
There's a beer and oyster hall. Now,
That sounds like
off,
a great place to go.
First, yeah, because if we went there, so let's go back in time, Richard. It's 1875. We go to this beer and oyster hall.
Oh man, oysters sounds so good right now.
I guarantee you we have one beer. It's probably super strong. We're probably like super drunk.
Yeah.
And those oysters are probably super strong. So we ate like 3. We've like super horny.
Yeah. Really 3? Shawn, I can down 3 in my sleep.
Oysters are good.
When I lived in San Diego, there was this place down the hill from where I lived that they would do a happy hour. Ooh. And it was like 2 oysters for $1.
Oh my God. I would down like 30 of them
for happy hour. Oh yeah. I can't remember what the price was, but they were super cheap. It was like basically like $1.50 an oyster.
Oh man.
And so like I ate so many oysters.
Those are one of those things too. Like, were they kind of like the boiled or like the slimy kind? Like you basically like had to down them. Ooh.
Yeah, they were still in the shell.
Do you put hot sauce in it, or do you just eat them straight?
I usually do like a little dab of cocktail sauce and a squeeze of lemon.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've had them.
Yeah,
they're so good. And I'm not gonna lie, they do kind of get me riled up.
Do they?
Yeah, a little bit.
I've never actually paid attention to see.
Like, I'm always riled up.
Yeah,
is it the beer? Yeah. Is it the air? Is it the cab driver?
I don't care. What's your name, Marm? Tom? Come here, Tom. I'm jacked up on oysters.
Sir, this is an Uber.
I need to be touched.
She became familiar presence at the so-called 8th Ward Thieves Exchange.
Is that like a convention?
It's like a guild.
That's
they had like
awesome.
A thieves guild back in the day.
Like, are you on the job? Local 304.
The article says this was sort of a Gilded Age Walmart. So they kind of like would bring all their wares here and like trade or figure out like, oh, well, what can I get for this?
Nice.
She befriended different crooked cops and judges at the nearby 5th District Court.
Oh my God, she's like a fucking crime lord. She's like Jabba the Hutt.
This is where it gets interesting further down. But yeah, she's basically like Gangs of New York kind of thinking. Like she was like the leader of this.
Oh my God, Daniel Day-Lewis would make a fantastic Mama Marm.
Oh, I was thinking he'd be like Mama Marm's bitch.
Because he'd be totally like get into character. He'd put on a dress and a big wig.
What about the one dude that does all the Big Mama thing? Not Big Mama. What's the Mama Dia?
Fucking Medea?
Medea.
You want Tyler Perry to play Mama Marm?
I do, Richard. I do.
Look here. Look her.
Look her. Hello, her. Hello there. There. I've only seen like none of it.
All right, kids. You're going to go steal stuff from over there.
So Marm didn't so much join the underworld as tweak it to her preferences.
Ooh.
She treated crime herself as a commodity to barter. Newspaper of her day said she was the greatest crime promoter of all time. So Richard, in the newspaper, like, today we have person of the year, podcast of the year.
Yeah.
They had greatest crime promoter of the year.
That's awesome. That's kind of nice. You know why? Because I'll tell you what, I don't care what your trade is. I don't care what your occupation is. Everybody wants a little recognition.
That's true.
For their talents
Even in
whatever
crime,
they
though,
do.
I think crime you want on the DL.
Why do you think serial killers confess? Why do you think serial killers confess to way more people than they've actually killed? Like you never see a serial killer come in and say, "Oh, I only killed 2 people," when they actually killed like 11. Like they always say, like, "I killed 582 people," and they actually ended up killing like 4.
Ted Bundy didn't, though. He kind of kept his number low, didn't he?
No, nobody knows what his number is.
Yeah, because I just watched the documentary and it sounded like he didn't even really confess to any of it until like right before he got shocked to death.
Nobody knows what his number is. So he could have said a number, and it could have been more, it could have been less. But
I thought he was all about like he didn't do anything. Like he like claimed his innocence up to the point. I thought that's what that Ted Bundy tapes documentary talked about. Spoiler alert / advisory note: do not watch that movie when you're by yourself for a weekend, or that TV show.
Why?
It's creepy as shit.
Because you're afraid Ted Bundy's going to show up at your house?
I was uncomfortable. I slept with a dog, Richard. Then he left me.
Ted Bundy killed like 487 people. I don't think I think that, I don't know how
good he's credited with?
I don't know. I think his actual number's like 50-ish.
Yeah.
Well, I think he said 50-ish, but again, they're not sure.
Yeah, I thought
because a lot of those people were like hitchhikers and stuff, hitchhikers and hookers and whatnot, and so they can't confirm or deny.
I thought his was a big mix. Because didn't he kill a lot of college chicks too?
Well, because he drove everywhere, so he'd just pick them up off the side of the road.
Or just random places. Because that's like this. It's like back in the day, it's like, oh, what's your alibi? I was in a car in Georgia. Checks out. Does it?
Yeah.
No, but he said it.
Yeah. So like Ted Bundy could say 50 people. I could say I killed 50 people. But in actuality, I've only killed like 4. Oh,
okay.
Make it 5.
Hey, that looks like my house.
Shawn, come here. I want to show you something.
So they kind of credit her too about putting crime in America on a syndicate basis. So her plunders were silk, lace, diamonds, horses, carriages, silverware, gold, silver, bonds. And they could be and could estimate the value of a thief's swag with a quick and ruthless scan. So this was kind of neat about her. So I guess she would take, I think it was her kids maybe, or one of her kids or something. She would go look over the stuff, and then she would only buy it after it was in her possession, and then she'd give him money.
So basically, like, she was like just looking for the choice shit.
Well, no, she was, she was very much kind of hands off of all this. So it says it kind of here. So her own hands, of course, remain unsullied. She cracked no safes, picked no locks, dodged no bullets.
Damn, so she's just like, you work for me. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking Mama Marm, you son of a... Okay.
Yeah, when her empire grew, she hired a network of associates, so engravers to Dr. Jewelry, handsome cab drivers for quick getaways, which is actually kind of early on because I think it was... it was like one of the most famous bank robbers from like the 20s.
Dillinger?
Dillinger. They're the ones that really set up like the whole planning and getaway type stuff.
Hey, you know what? John Dillinger was shot in a theater in Chicago because he exited the theater and police shot him. And you know who tipped the police off that he was at the theater? Girlfriend.
Yeah. I think he ran down an alleyway and they shot him.
Yeah. Because he tried to get out the back.
Yeah, I'm listening to a podcast right now. I think I'm on the last 2 episodes. It was a Clark Gable movie too, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember what movie it was, but fucking Girlfriend.
Yep, get you every time. Unless you're Mama Marm, then you kill your husband.
Oh my God, allegedly. Did Mama Marm have a girlfriend?
You know what? If we make a Netflix, like we had what was the lioness of what's her face, the one that like went to the nunnery and burned it down for her lesbian girlfriend. Oh,
fucking Maupin.
Yeah. Like, this is, like, the second season of this. We just do, like, these, like, awesome criminal lesbians.
Oh, sweet. That'd be so badass.
I'd be down for that. It's like Orange is the New Black, but like rated R and in like olden times. Marm paid the renowned firm of Howe and Hummel an annual retainer of $5,000.
Damn.
So she had a lawyer on basically tap. On average,
but she didn't do anything.
No, she didn't physically do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so really, she's got like all sorts of fucking plausible deniability, but just in case, she's got a fucking like lawyer.
This is the part I was kind of mentioning. It's really interesting because I think it shows the power of Marm. So on average, she offered 1/5 of the wholesale price of goods. Okay. Sellers had to remain in her sight at all times during a deal, and money changed hands only when goods were in her possession. So she shows up, and essentially, if anybody's like, "Oh, hey, like, yeah, I know you're Marm, but this is how it's fucking gonna go," and Mama Marm's like, "Hey, guess what? Cut his dick off." He's like, "What? No,
that's my favorite."
I only have so many things, and that's one of them. So after the transaction, Stout would lug the goods to one of her numerous warehouses or to her home. So I think that was like her helper guy. Her home, I guess, was a pretty elaborate place. It had a chimney with a false back, a dumbwaiter that could raise or lower.
Oh my God, she's got secret passages in her house.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking amazeballs.
I'm curious about this too. So she was mindful of competition.
Oh, she's like a fucking she's like a super villain, Shawn.
Yeah, she really is.
She's got secret passages in her house and this is bad. Okay. She's getting pretty more badass.
Well, I feel like if this happened, like this is a story I just randomly found because like it was a story about a woman who taught a bunch of kids to pickpocket.
Yeah.
And it's the great American tale. She comes over here, she builds an empire illegally, and then she just, is like the top dog.
That's badass.
She was always mindful of competition too, it says, so she would constantly scout for fresh recruits. She opened a school on Grand Street, not far from police headquarters. So she's basically like, fuck
She
you,
opened
fuzz.
a school?
Yeah, so kids could learn to pickpocket.
Like fucking Mama Marm's school of how to be a badass.
She's like Professor X, but for like kids that are, little sticky hands.
She is. She's like Professor X, but for like fucking street rats.
It's like, you like to steal shit? Come to Mama Marm's school.
And this one kid's like, no, I like to sing. Riff raff, street rat. I don't buy that.
Chimney, chim chimaroo, chim chimaree. Like, hey, you like
and
chimneys?
then Mama Marm's like, that's fucking racist. I was like, what do you mean racist? You're Prussian. And then Mama Marm stabbed Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
That was a deleted scene in the Mary Poppins movie.
Yeah, they tried.
That's why you didn't see Dick Van Dyke in the sequel.
Yeah, they wanted it to be PG-13, and that's what pushed it to rated R.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By 1880, Marm was arguably the most successful fence in the United States. So they call I never understood the fence thing. Have you ever heard that before?
What, a fence?
Yeah.
Well, basically, a fence is somebody that buys stolen, like procures stolen goods, usually buys them off the people that have been doing the stealing, and then turns around and sells them for more money. Basically, like a pawn shop for illegal goods, like an illegal pawn operation.
So, like a pawn shop.
Yeah, exactly like a pawn shop.
Hey, these look like my CDs.
Uh-huh.
Selling to dealers in every major city along the East Coast and Canada over the course of her career. So back in this time, she is estimated to have handled, Richard, $5 million to $10 million in stolen property.
Damn.
Known internationally as the Napoleon of crime.
Oh my God, that's exactly what they fucking called Moriarty.
Oh, do you think Moriarty's based off her?
Oh my God, I hope so. I hope so much.
Huh. The story's kind of coming to an end here too, but so in 1884, they started kind of getting on to her. So District Attorney Peter Olson hired a detective to try and infiltrate her business. The police raided her various warehouses. They discovered the silk that this guy sold her. So basically they tried to not frame her, but catch her in the act.
Yeah.
They found enough loot to put her away for life, and it had not seemed possible that so much wealth could be assembled in one spot, a journalist marveled. Marm's son Julius and Herman Stroud, which I think Herman Stroud was like her lover, if I read this correctly.
Her beta. That was let's be honest.
Arrested in July, and she issued a rare statement because she was pretty quiet. She said, "I kept a dry goods store and have for 20 years past. I buy and sell dry goods as other dry goods people do. I have never knowingly bought stolen goods. Neither did my son Julius. I have never stolen anything in my life. I feel that these charges are brought against me for spite. I have never bribed the police nor had their protection. I never needed their protection. I and my son are innocent of these charges, so help me God."
Wow.
And with that, she released an army of children out through New York who burned it
with
to the ground.
bombs strapped to their chest, and then fucking Mama Marm held the city hostage until she was released.
That's why I feel like that's like a execute order 66.
Yeah, then she put on white face paint and fucking red lipstick.
Oh, her picture wouldn't make that look hot.
And covered the city in poison gas from parade floats.
While dancing to Prince. On December 5th, Marm jumped bail and fled to Hamilton, Ontario, where she set herself up as a law-abiding citizen who donated to charities. So she kind of like skipped to Canada.
Oh, that's nice. She fled. She fled.
Yeah, so she got bail and then she basically skipped bail. Which I would assume with that amount of money back then, why they would give her bail. But I don't know if that was kind of a thing back then where
must have just been a thing. Also, like how awesome would that be? Because you got to remember, Shawn, this is what'd you say, like 1890?
Yeah, 1890.
Where you could just drive like 20 miles in any direction and basically just start a new life.
That's very true.
Like, how badass is that?
They're like, hey, have you seen this person?
Doesn't that just sound freeing? Like, think about that, Shawn. Like, if right now, if this was 100 years ago from where we are right now, like, if you didn't like the way things were going, like, you could just get in your car, drive, like, an hour in any given direction.
At this time, you'd have to ride a horse.
Well, okay. So you ride a horse for like 2 hours in any direction. And then you're just like, "Hi, I'm George."
Yeah. You're like, "Hi, I have to go to the bathroom. Where do I go?" And they're like, "That tree over there."
What do you mean tree?
Yeah. So Richard, you tell me, would you rather have that convenience or the conveniences of a private toilet?
I mean, oh, that's tough.
You know, that's kind of the thing. Like, you bring Mama Marm into like our time and she's like, "Where would you like me to go to the bathroom?" Like, "Oh, well, what are the three?" What do you mean three? Like, I know which tree.
Yeah. You got, no, I know which one. There's the one in the back and then the
Where's
two
your
in the front.
pooping tree?
Which one's the pooping tree? Though,
is that like the Giving Tree? Is that a book? Like everyone poops?
Who writes a book called The Pooping Tree? You're silly. Just go use the toilet.
Do you think they like Mama Marm would look at us now and be like, 3 bathrooms? Really?
Although you got like, let's be honest. I think that Mama Marm, like in today's day and age, she'd be caught in like, 4 days.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Be like some kind. Well, I guess if she was, I'm guessing she was pretty like bright. She might have like some kind of weird Ponzi scheme type thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a white collar crime kind of thing.
Maybe she could stay in a Club Med prison.
Oh yeah. But these are 6-day-old tennis balls. Let's see. So she lived up in Canada. She kind of set herself up as like a good citizen, donated to charities. There were occasional reports that she had revived her career as a peddler, going door to door with arms full of lace.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. So she kind of went back to like how she was when she was younger, finding these more scrap type stuff and, not like trying to build this huge empire, because I'm sure she had quite a bit of money with her when she went there.
Yeah.
But just something, day to day to keep her busy. It's like when you retire and you're like, I want to be a Walmart greeter just for something to do on the weekends.
Yeah. God, but all that money, she probably just like had to give up.
I don't know. I don't know where that money would be.
Like she just basically like walked away from an entire like criminal empire that she built with her own 2 fucking hands.
Yeah, but do you think most of that money would have been like in gold or something that would have been moved? Because I mean, it wouldn't all been in a bank.
You would think so. Like you would think like she'd skip bail and leave. Like you gotta know she's taken like a lot of it with her.
Yeah, because it's not like today. Like today, like if you had $1 million, you probably couldn't keep that $1 million in cash at your house.
But honestly, Shawn, like it may not be about the money. Because if you amass like, $5 to $10 million in that time, like you gotta think that like it wasn't all about the money.
I'm sure it was a good fix.
Yeah.
Not even
so like I'm sure she, it was probably easier for her to walk away from the money than it would be for you and I to walk away from the money, because that, to me, like for you and I think the money would be the only reason we'd do it. But then for her, like the money was just kind of a byproduct.
Yeah.
I think she liked, I get the impression that she liked the influence and power that she had, especially as a woman in that time period.
Wow. I wonder if like that would have to be pretty empowering too.
Right?
You go past some dude that's being a real dick face.
Yeah, and then she has like a bunch of 5-year-olds fucking beat the shit out of him.
Oh,
and then drag him into an alley, and the mom's like, "Now you suck my dick."
Yeah, it'd be like Hostel. They come up and be like, "Bubble gum." And they don't have any bubble gum and fuck him up. I don't know if you do this, Richard, but to this day, if I drive and like come to like a spot, like a stop sign, there's like a bunch of kids out the window, I'll go to Tiffany, I'll go, "Bubble gum," and take off driving, because those kids, I don't want to beat the shit out of me. Underrated movie, Hostel. I need to rewatch that. It's been a long time.
It's a bit too gore porn for me. I mean, I've seen it, but
Hostel, it is a little bit, but I don't think it's as bad as the other ones.
It's not as over the top as the other ones.
Because Hostel's kind of like dirty and grungy.
Yeah,
whereas
very
like
much.
Number 2 and 3 are more like, hey, let's make heads explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Eli Roth too was one of his, I think it was his second movie.
I don't know, Cabin Fever and then that, right?
I think so, yeah. Cabin Fever, I think they did independently.
Yeah.
Which that one's pretty good.
Yeah, Cabin Fever's pretty good.
But legend has it that Marm, upon learning of the death of her youngest daughter, donned a disguise and traveled by train and private carriage back to New York, where she watched the procession from afar.
Aww.
So that's kind of sad. I mean, you think about...
yeah, that's sad.
It reminds me of the Johnny Depp cocaine movie. Where,
Blow?
Yeah, where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to do one more job and take that money from my kid, and we're going to run away."
And then his fucking friends hand him over.
But I'd have to believe like somebody like that too. Like, I doubt that was his last job. I always feel like that's one of those things people would say to be like, "Oh, I'm only doing this for..."
He's out now.
Did he get out finally? I know we talked about that.
Yeah, I watched that movie like a year ago, and it was like, oh, his scheduled releases, blah, blah, blah day. It was like, holy shit, that was like 3 years ago.
But he's old. Isn't he like in his 80s?
Yeah. I think he does like speaking gigs and stuff now to like pay the bills. Well, it's not like they're going to make a Blow too. So
I mean, maybe. I mean, he's old enough. He's like, let's do another run.
Fucking Johnny Depp goes to prison.
Hold on, guys. I got my walker.
Old Johnny Depp in prison. That's going to be the whole movie.
Maybe. Oh, man. That end of that was really sad, where he's like doing the flowers and sees his kid.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, at the end, like you think his daughter comes to see him, and like they have a little byline. It's like she never came to see him. It's like, oh. Based on a true story.
Fuck.
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Don't do it. Rude ass.
So in 1894, this is the last bit of this story. 10 years after her departure, Marm confided to a visitor. She says, "I would gladly forfeit every penny of my wealth in order to once again breathe freely the atmosphere of the 13th Ward."
See, it wasn't about the money.
Yep. It was about her community. Shortly thereafter, as reporters speculated about the mysterious contents of a coffin heading from Canada, she might well have been on her way. In any case, Marm never told.
Ooh.
So, Richard, nice story about Frederick Mandelbaum, Old Mother Marm.
Mandelbaum.
She took her 13th ward, gave everybody work, essentially, stole a bunch of stuff, $5 to $10 million worth of things.
So the way I would wrap this up is I would say that you don't need to have a dick to run a criminal empire, and sometimes it's not all about the money.
Yep, it was about the 13th ward for her.
Yeah.
That's sad too. I always think about being that far away from your kids.
It's just like us. Like, we don't do this for the money, obviously.
Yeah, I was doing the math, and I think we are in the red by quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think about it or tell the wife. All right. Well, Richard, was that your closing thought?
Yeah. Also, if that's the case, then she should start a criminal empire to help fund our podcast.
Yeah. Well, the kid's probably at the right age. He can start pickpocketing.
Fucking Mama Tiff.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds kind of hot.
I know, right?
I hope she's still up. All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping before I go see Mama Tiff.
Yeah. Pick my pockets.
Ow! What was that for? No, it's good. Listen to the episode.
That was a good thing.
Visit our website, we're at languagebros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languagebro. Email us at bros@languagebros.com. We're on Facebook. We've got some merchandise you don't have to steal at the TeePublic store. And you can also...
Please don't steal it.
I mean, I don't know if that would affect us any. We don't have inventory.
It probably would.
But if you want to throw some cash money to us to help us pay for this whole show, check out our Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/language of bromance. And Richard, we are part of Papa John's Pod Bros Network.
The Mama Marm of podcast networks.
It's the podcast network that the only thing we steal is your heart.
Is your heart. There it is. Yeah. But yeah, the Patreon thing would be good. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, then we'll have to teach Shawn's son how to steal things.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, I didn't want to tell anybody this, but I have been stripping for the last 6 years. And it's odd, like we went in at negative money. We're even further in the hole somehow since I started stripping.
Wait a minute. Like, you don't put the dollars in there.
Well, I mean, when you have a lady come up and she's like, "Hi, I'm Mama Marm, and I don't want to see any of this," I'm like, "I'm sorry, here.
Just take.
Do you want my wallet?
I'm sorry.
Here's my phone. I won't even."
She's like, "Where are you keeping all this?"
Well, to find out, you have to pay extra. She's like, "I'm not that curious.
I'm not paying extra." And you're like, "You're right. Here, take my bank card."
I won't report it for a couple
okay.
hours.
I wash my hands.
Oh, God. They still smell, though. All right. Well, anything else before I close her out?
No.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a why. Not.
Oh, man. Why not?
I mean, don't encourage people to steal. I mean, I wouldn't. Don't let that be your endeavor. I guess if, in that instance, you should ask yourself why.
Richard, I have a new podcatcher for you.
Okay, first, what is a podcatcher? Because I don't listen to podcasts.
I know, I look at our downloads. But Richard, a podcatcher is the app you use to get your favorite podcast. The most common is, of course, Apple Podcasts, but I found one that has really cool features. So podcasting is a silent medium, right? The way you find a new podcast is by what non-listeners tell you to listen to. Good Pods, Richard, is a podcatcher that I found and gives you ways to see what your friends are listening to and help you find new podcasts.
Okay, well, wait. Couldn't I just tell you what I listen to?
Well, from time to time, you may see someone share a podcast on some type of social media, but who pays attention to that? Am I right? We obviously do that all the time, and people don't see it. But with Good Pods, Richard, you can see the actual podcast your friends listen to, and then you can, right from the same app, listen, subscribe, and then you, Richard, the listener, can share those podcasts.
Okay, but wait. Does this thing do anything else? Does the podcatcher
shine my shoes.
It does not shine shoes, but Richard, you can find brand new podcasts to listen to while you shine your shoes. Because Good Pods, Richard, makes searching for podcasts is one of the best out there, not only by podcast name, but by episodes and authors. Good Pods UI is really sweet, and they are providing updates all the time to improve it and make it the best podcatcher out there. Plus, on Good Pods, you can rate, share your thoughts on each podcast episode to help others find the podcast they will love.
Okay. All this does sound good. Everything you're telling me sounds good. So, question. I do not understand phones. Where do I get it?
Oh, it's simple, Richard. Just like any of the apps you buy for your phone, you go to the app store of your choice and search Good Pods, GoodPods. You download and rate Good Pods, and obviously subscribe to the Language of Bromance and rate the next episode you listen to.
Yeah, because then you catch pods, and then you would catch our pod, and catch our pod because you don't want to catch anything else.
Yeah, and you can catch our pod on Good Pod.
Because our pod is a good pod.